Okay. Enough of that music. We're late enough as it is, folks. Wow. I'm surprised I even made it here today, to be honest with you. It was like one thing after another. This is what happens when I set up the stream way ahead of time. I thought I'll get things sorted the night before I go away to bed. I can get up tomorrow and relax and getting ready to do the stream, and then boom, Lecky goes out. Now over here in Glasgow, we've got like power meters, and I thought we'd put our key back in it, but we hadn't. So we're here. That's the main thing, right? And I want to thank everyone for tuning in today for the first safe space of the week. And you know that this is the one time I think the safe space isn't being ironic, because after a couple of the stories we get into today, even I'm considering building myself some kind of safe space, right? So I'm looking at all the people in there. We've got Nana in there, I've got Polly Nation. And Polly, he was talking about 5G routers. Now, I hold my hands up. Maybe I'm to blame for this, because I often used to say in the past when I was talking about 5G, things like that, I would say, listen, don't worry, folks. I'm sat within like 5 feet, maybe 3 feet of a 5G router. I'm taking the frequencies, baby. It's okay. I'm not cooking yet. But then I had young Brendan Drackler on the show, and we were talking 5G, and we were going over some of the commonly misheld conceptions. That's it. I think I got that right. And it turns out, and I checked this out myself as well, the 5G that the router is talking about isn't the 5G frequencies that we talk about when it comes to the new 5G communications network. Because it's literally what it says on the acronym. It's 5G, 5 gigahertz. And you compare that to what the actual 5G comms are pumping out, which is 600 gigahertz. Sorry, wait till I find this here now. No, I'm looking at the wrong bit. I'll find it here now. 5G, yeah. In the spectrum from 24 to 86 gigahertz. So it's a totally different thing altogether. And like I say, Polly, I used to think that as well. So that's one thing we can maybe clear up for people at home, looking at your 5G router thinking, is this doing me damage? I'm not saying it's not doing you damage. I don't know. I'm not some electromagnetic radiation expert. If I was, would I be sitting on YouTube? We've still got the tunes on. We'll turn the tunes off, right? But we've got lots to get into today. But that's one thing I've seen flying through the chat room. See Legend Real in there. He's from Glasgow. I remember that. See him getting to know the names now. Timothy Hawkins, you've got an interesting... Is it you that's got the interesting ancestor? I think so. We've got Chris Tanner in there. It's great to see you, Chris. We've got Frank back in there. Who else have we got coming in? We have got Just a Guy. Just a Guy, did I see you saying you'd been up like all night? What is it that's happening to our sleep, folks? I speak to Nancy a lot. You hear me talking about Nancy. And Nancy was saying to me, it's almost as if we've shifted. And what I mean is, our sleeping patterns, we're going to bed later. And I find anyway that even when I get to sleep, fall into a deep sleep, you're lucky if it lasts 4 to 5 hours. And then I'm up again. And I don't know, I can't work it out. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me and Nancy. I don't know. Maybe it's a shift we're going through. I have no idea. We got Jose Ramon Francis in there as well. Cool name. Yay. My good friend from Norway, Sidvich, is in there. Great to see you. I've had a couple of Norwegian people messaging me. So this is really cool. We're going out to Scandinavia, folks. How cool is that? As much as we all moan about the computer and things like that on the internet, it's great, right? Says, hey, Chris Tanner says, hey, crew, just a quickie. How many people are currently using a 5G network at the moment? It's been tested here in Glasgow, Chris, and I know that it's live in Edinburgh right now. I think London's got it. The UK, it's rolling out right now, so we will see just what that means for the future that we're moving into. But I'll go back to the chat room as the show goes on. I see Valley Parks. Germanus has just made it in there. Sleep is very hard. 4 hours sleep. Yep. Valley, female. I think Valley's phoned me up on Truth Frequency Radio. And tonight, that's where I want to start, ladies and gents. Tonight, I'm going to be joined by a new guest. Her name is Debbie Elliott. We're going to be talking about her book, which I have been pouring into most of the day. You see, that's the one bonus about not sleeping so much. You get time to prepare for the shows. And as you know, on the Kev Baker Show on Truth Frequency Radio, what I do is every day is totally unique. I dedicate that whole day to the topic or the guest that's coming on that night. And that way everyone gets an equal part of my attention, that they get an equal and fair kind of share of the show. So I've been diving down into the world of monkey mind, robot body, and it's a fascinating read. It's like everything I talk about on the show. It covers transhumanism, covers AI, AI becoming self-aware. And we're going to be getting into all of this tonight on the show, so I don't want to get into that too much. But, we are moving into a new world. I don't want to say a brave new world, because that's got really nasty connotations, right? Because of the dude that wrote it. But we are moving into new times. Nobody can deny that. And we were talking about cyber magicians on the show last night, and Joe was talking about how they're getting magnets put under their skin and things like that. And we're on the verge of really becoming something that isn't human, or at least something that's an enhanced form of human, perhaps some would say. Transhumanism, and moving from this body, this biological organism that's got us as far as we have today, into something else, something merging with machines. Now, I know it's highly controversial, but there are people out there that's going to opt to take this route. And I would imagine there's more people being tested and going under testing for this kind of thing than we would be comfortable imagining. It's not nice to think that, 10 years, 20 years down the line, we may not be what we are today. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. And in the book, it tackles some of the positives that can come from merging organic and silicon together. That, again, sounds highly controversial, right? But we'll be getting into more of this on the show tonight. And of course, anytime you talk about something like this, brings up that whole Terminator scenario, doesn't it? You start thinking to yourself, oh, this is where the rise of the robots come in. This is where we get into trouble. And you know how my life goes. Synchronicity. I'm looking for strange and funny stories to get into today. But no, I've been pushed down this path. The show tonight's going to be transhumanism. It's going to be AI. It's going to be all of this stuff. And we're going to be talking about the soul, things like that. And I come to start looking for stories when I put the book down. I'm still reading the book. I've got a bit to go yet. But first thing I come across is this here. So right away, the minute I sit down at the computer, I know this is the way that the universe, the synchronicities are definitely steering the show today, right now, and the show tonight. So I'm sitting smiling, having my first cup of coffee when I was at the computer, thinking Terminator-style AI robots being developed by secret Marine Corps program. So it's inevitable, right? With this kind of technology, the military always try to weaponize it first. And we're definitely moving into this kind of Terminator scenario. Some may argue that we already do have Skynet and it's operational. I don't know. I'm open to that. But this story here, remember, I've only got the headline. So this could take directions that we really don't know where it could go. Terminator-style robots could soon lay the groundwork for life and death decisions, let me just get that, to be made by machines on the battlefield. A subdivision of the US Marine Corps, known as CMOB, is developing artificially intelligent robots capable of collective autonomous decision-making. Now, the first prototype test phase is reported to have been carried out in October 2018, with 35-foot inflatable Ghost Fleet boats successfully piloted by AI-enabled hardware off the coast of Virginia. Now, the machines were successful in intuitively sensing their surroundings and operated in tandem to strategically position themselves. It's the first step in deploying fully autonomous seaborne weaponry capable of making life or death decisions. Now, the machines would be equipped with the free rein to target and rain down on the enemy without human input. Now let me just stop there, right? Hold your horses. You see, this is where it can start to slide into that really, really nightmarish dystopic view. Because a number of books that I've been reading lately, it has tackled this issue of when the AI becomes self-aware. Now, we're not going to debate whether machines can become self-aware or conscious or anything like that. We're going to get into the show tonight. But for the purpose of this article here, what I mean is, when do they stop operating on the programming they've been given and start acting entirely independently? When do they say no? And when you have this kind of machine that does have the ability to lock out the people who have created it, the people who have coded it, and then you're handing it armaments that can literally wipe out life as we know it. I don't think it takes one of these machine learning programmers to work out this can't be a good idea. This truly cannot be a good idea. Not when you start weaponizing it. There are many scenarios that I could paint for you that would be entirely positive with AI and the outcome being a paradigm change for humanity without us merging with it. Yet this whole idea of weaponizing it, and your man right here, Geordie, many people love to hate him, but he is entirely, adamantly, vehemently opposed to the weaponization of the kind of AI that he's bringing into existence right now. He kind of shares that same idea I do, the optimistic view, the paradigm change it could bring us if harnessed and used in the right way. But giving it weapons, there's no way that has a positive outcome for anyone. Yeah, it might be some remote country over there in the Middle East or in Africa or something, and people we don't know, and we just hear about numbers and collateral damage on a news report at night, but there's still people just like us, and a machine decides that. I don't know, folks. I don't know. I love to be positive about the whole machine thing, but not when we're like literally handing the keys to the arsenal over to these robots and things where there's no human involved whatsoever. And what if they decide that we're the problem? It's done the math, and the biggest problem in the world is us, the ones that created it. What happens then when it's fully armed? You see how this goes horribly wrong? So we'll go back here, we'll see what else it says. On a larger scale, the US Navy is testing a ship dubbed Sea Hunter, which is hoped will be able to seek out and attack enemy submarines without any input from command control. It has so far travelled thousands of miles unaided. Says, writing in a subcommittee paper on defence, former director of the Strategic Capabilities Office, Dr. William B. Roper, said that CMOB, Ghost Fleet, it sounds like a computer game, right? Ghost Fleet, would convert existing vessels into autonomous, collaborative ghost fleets and CMOBs capable of dangerous missions without putting critical ships at risk. And unfortunately, I do think that's the future of warfare. They wouldn't be spending so much money on it if it wasn't. Absolute lunacy. It's craziness. But what do the chat room think? Maybe I've got it all wrong. Maybe people think this is a great idea. We've had Kristen sneaking in there as well, Gordon. And Graham Saxon, how's it going, man? Oh, he's like, he won't like me saying this, but he's famous. He's been in like episodes of Downton Abbey and things like that. Yes, ladies, control yourselves. Show Graham some love over on Facebook. He's a great guy. He's probably, one of the longer people I've been in contact with on Facebook. And just when you follow him, he's one of these few people that you look forward to seeing their posts as opposed to looking through a crack in your fingers. So big, big, big shout out to Graham over there. So yeah, what do y'all think, folks? We've got John Fuller Project. We'll look at drones. Went from spy tech to weaponizing. The war complex is the money complex. Exactly. Polly says, like the Clone Wars, except the drone wars. Timothy Hawkins, being a Scot, I always wanted to listen here live, but it was late when you broadcast. Love the new time. However, what do the Brits think? Well, you see, I've not got a big British audience yet, because of the time. And I'm proud of the fact I'm on an American network. It's one of the bigger networks out there, but I get it. The time's a hassle. And that's why I've started the daytime streams now as well. They're not as structured. They're not as professional. Not that the nighttime ones are, but you get the real me, totally. And Graham, don't be saying crap like that, dude. I'm still tipping you for a big role soon, man. I'm telling you, you're going to get there. My gut, my heart, and my head, they're all in tandem, brother. And the minute I seen you, I thought, this guy, you've just got that look. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because you're a decent guy. Maybe that's why you haven't had your break yet. I don't know, dude. I don't know, but it's coming. It's coming. So what else is the chat room saying before we move on? Do you know what? I'm going to move on. Do you know why? Because this is a weird one. You see, you get one of these things you come across and you just go, what? And the other day we were talking about, when did this even become a thing? Well, this next story, it's going to tie in with just that. And not only that, but it ties in with the fact that I talk about simulation theory a lot. I know it really rubs up people the wrong way sometimes, but it's just an idea. It's just a thought. And it's something I like to talk about. And you can relate a lot of things in our, what appears to be physical world, to the structure of a simulation. And we ourselves, with our computers, are on the verge of creating simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. So that opens up the Pandora's box of, well, if that's the case, who's to say we're not in a simulation? So let's just say we're in the simulation. Go with me, right? We're just thinking. We're just exploring ideas. And this is pretty cool. Or I hope it's going to be cool, because usually I just take the headline, but this story, this next story, I had to take a little look, just a little bit further, to see what the hell's going on. Because this, ladies and gentlemen, is talking about the rise of, are you ready for this? I really need some music for this. I think we'll put the white hats on. Maybe it's the white hats that are coming to the rescue. You know, those good guys that are rounding everyone up and putting all the bad guys in Gitmo? You know, come on, suspend your belief systems here and just go with me, okay? So what if I was to tell you, along with the rise of the Terminator robots, we have got the rise of the Randonauts. So what are these Randonauts, I hear you all saying? Or you better be saying, because that's the obvious question, right? What's the Randonaut? Well, that's exactly what I had to say to myself today when I seen this story. But it says, I tried to glitch the simulation, and at that point I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. And then I was left scratching my head because it says, and all I got was a bottle of pee. Stop the white hats. What's going on? What the hell's Kev come across here? Exactly. I have no idea. Take a listen to this. A growing community called Randonauts believe that journeying to random locations can help us in new realities, or help put us in new realities. Okay? You gotta be liking this so far, because everyone's thinking, what? Well, it gets stranger. Don't worry. Given that modern life is so regularly baffling, it can sometimes feel like the only explanation for this is that we're collectively experiencing a Sims playthrough as directed by some sadistic comic being. Could be. You think of some of your worst, weirdest days. Doesn't that just explain it all? Nearly. But what if there was a way to pull back the curtain, to gain another perspective on the high-definition simulation that we call reality, and to unravel the physical mysteries of our world? A small but quickly growing online community believes that transforming randomly generated numbers into clusters of location data could help us tunnel out of reality. Their name for themselves? Randonauts. Not Randy Knots, Randonauts. I know some of you were thinking Randy Knots out there. These aren't people that take part in hedonistic journeys to the space station. They're Randonauts, okay? So it says it's a sad truth that most of our lives are pretty boring. Geographically speaking, live in one place long enough and you will develop routines, walking the same streets and patronizing the same coffee shops, and generally making it easy for the simulation, should one exist, to anticipate where you will be at any given time. Isn't that true, though? Aren't we truly creatures of habit when you think about it? I mean, it's quite sad to think about it, but we usually get up at the same time. If you have a day job, you'll go to work at the same time. You go lunch the same time. You may go to the same place. Sometimes you'll have the same lunch multiple days a week. You go home at the same time. You maybe get the bus, the train, the car. You watch your favourite programme. You go to bed the same time, and then repeat, repeat, repeat. Gets to the weekend, maybe you vary it a bit more. But think of the big picture. That's not really that hard, right? Maybe we're making it too easy for the simulation. Quite like that idea. So it says, Randonauts hope to use this tedium to their advantage by introducing unpredictability. They argue that by devising methods that force us to diverge our daily routines and instead send us to truly random locations we'd otherwise never think twice about, it just might be possible to cross over into somebody else's reality. Quote, new information and causality can pull you out of the filter bubble and change your life, writes the Fathom Project, the online team responsible for the technological and philosophical framework of the movement. Even if you don't buy into the dense thicket of theoretical quantum physics underpinning the logic of it all, going on a Randonaut-style adventure can be a lovely way to spend an afternoon. You know, I'm sitting here thinking about becoming a Randonaut, right? I love this. Love it. Getting into that quantum thing. You know, I often say to people, to really screw up the algorithm, start looking at things you would never look at, like cooking recipes, or maybe how to fix an engine on an airplane, going diving out in the Caribbean, something you don't usually look at, not your usual websites. Throw in that monkey wrench. You know, go and check out monkeys for a couple of hours on the search engine. Joe Joseph, he went down the octopus rabbit hole. You see what I'm saying? Don't be predictable. Don't be predictable on social media. And even if it does nothing, at least we can have a little game to ourselves. It's like we're playing with the algorithm. Do you want to play? See, we're the ones that are playing with it. But it probably knows that already, right? It's anticipated that. So it says, according to the Fathom Project, there's hard science behind all this. Building on research conducted at Princeton University's Engineering Anomalies Research Lab into whether human thought could influence real-world events, they hope that randonauts will be able to leave their reality tunnels and discover new contexts, appreciate daily life in fresh ways, or even venture into parallel iterations of their own realities. Who thought the safe space would develop into some deep and meaningful philosophical conversation about tunneling into other iterations of our reality, eh? Who knew? I know, I sound like I know what I'm talking about when I read this shit out. But here we go. We'll keep going with it, right? We have no physical evidence our universe is not really run by a short computer program. That was said by Jürgen Schmidhuber, one of the creators of modern AI technology. So it says here, getting started is easy. Log into the Telegram messaging app and send the command /get a tractor along with your location to at Shangri-La bot, formerly you could message at Randobot or Randonaut bot. The bot will plot out thousands of nearby geolocation points using a quantum random number generator and spit out the area with the highest concentration of points near you. Now, conversely, if computer-determined desolation is more your style, you can send the command get void. And through a similar process, the bot will send you a location where there are no randomly plotted points. On Reddit, Randonauts have reported finding things like upside-down airplane, a llama standing totally still, 3 identical black cats, a family of horses in a public park. Oh, that is bizarre. That's bizarre. You know why that's bizarre? Because there's something randonautic going on with this show today. You know how I don't read them? The final story of today is related to a horse. Can you believe that? It's randonautic, right? Go with me. And a bird that also refused to move. Now, under the auspices of /get void, users have reported finding derelict locales, creepy signage, and other marks of decay. Think of it as geocaching or geocaching by way of Marianne Williamson. Now, Nick Hinton, a 24-year-old philosophy student at the University of Toledo, is an admin of the Randonauts board over on Reddit and manages the Fathom Project's Instagram. Now, he claims that his first experience in April this year led him 1,000 metres away to a street light adjacent to a solitary glove. Now, his phone glitched whenever he tried to take a picture, but when he walked away, his phone would work again. Now, though other eerie trips contain no similar moments of weirdness, Hinton believes the very act of randonauting had a stark effect. This literally did change my perception, he said. Hold on. So what if... 2 seconds. So what if, folks, right? What if we are in some kind of simulation? And I know, we've got free will. Or at least it feels like we do, right? And I think we do, to a certain extent. But perhaps there are daily lives, just for argument's sake, to make this kind of case. What if things are kind of semi-predetermined? It's going to take one way or another, depending on decisions you make during the day. Maybe that's why randonauting is having a bit of a weird effect. Because you're literally stepping outside of the code that's designed to make you run. Or at least the patterns that you're supposed to follow. Do you get me? Do you get where I'm coming from? You were never meant to be in that. Even when you think to yourself, right, you know, I randomly went somewhere. You've never really done it this way with quantum number generators just randomly telling you to go somewhere you'd never have gone otherwise. Never have gone. It's almost like you're glitching your own matrix. I kind of like this. I kind of like it as a thought experiment and as something to do, maybe. I'm not saying this is exactly how the world works, folks. And I hear all the Christians out there saying, but Kev, don't be blasphemous. You know, God set everything in motion. He created everything. So did the programmer. So did the coder. So we're all talking about the same thing. The simulation doesn't just allow for God. It's essential that we have a God. Think about that. So it says here, it's Hinton's hope that even more people will have their worldviews similarly shifted through expeditions into the mundane powered by bots running from random number generators. Next year, the Fathom Project will release a smartphone app called Randonautica. You know I'm going to be... in fact, they should sponsor the Kev Baker Safe Space, right? We could give out, like, random locations to people in the streaming and stuff like that, which will streamline the somewhat clunky process of the Randonaut experience. If the upcoming app succeeds in recruiting new Randonauts, he said, I think reality is going to get a bit more weird. Can it really get more weird at this point? But let me jump into the chat. Let me see what people are saying about this, right? Let me scroll up a little bit. Williamson says, I think artificial intelligence is hacking the reality instantaneously. And then Uniquely says, oh, it's magic. Even magic comes into that book that Debbie Elliott has written. I'll be getting into that tonight on the show. Somebody said, don't choke on your coffee. Graham, I'd never choke on my coffee, man. Not too much, anyway. Check out Callistian Commando Force channel. I'll try and remember that name. Timothy Hawkins, there's only one you. Everything flows out through your eyes when you wake. Is everything there when you sleep? How would you know? Nana, I told my hubby about Kev's simulator theory, his face. I can imagine. Timothy says, all is created when we open our eyes. But where is it created? It's created in our mind's eye. What have you done, Anne? It's just walked into the room with like a cut on the bridge of her nose. Wasn't me. You see, I didn't hit her with a shoe. I've been sat here the whole time, folks. But yeah, think about that, right? Where is the world in reality? Where do we see it? In our heads. You know, the photons go in. We change that into an electrical signal. Our brains then does its thing. And the graphics processor in there, it makes reality. You know, the graphics they're amazing. You can't rival the graphics that we get for reality, right? But all of it's in our head. We don't literally see the world out in front of us, which makes it utterly cool and utterly bizarre. Where do you feel things? See, it feels like you're feeling them in your hand, but what really is that? It's you interacting, your electromagnetic field interacting with other molecules' electromagnetic fields. And then, you know, that signal sent to our brain where we get the sensation that we're touching it. See how it's all kind of weird and woo and electromagnetical and it's all kind of crazy. Body snatching and possession. And somebody, anything about body snatching and possession, that sounds pretty cool to be watching. Stimuli, convincing people we're in a simulation might make people feel less accountable for themselves. You see that? I see what you're saying there. But the way I kind of say it is that the best way that we can describe what reality is like, the one that ticks most boxes, would be a simulation. But that doesn't take away from the fact that all of our lives are very, very real. All of our problems equally real. Still got bills to pay. Knowing it's a simulation won't feed Kevin tonight. Knowing it's a simulation won't pay our bills. So yeah, I do get that. I do get it totally. So, we've got a Randonaut in there. I've done some of the Randonaut stuff. It's very interesting, and I recommend everyone try it. There are tutorials on how to do it on Reddit. Just Google it. Empyrean, I'm liking the sound of it. I must admit, I do like the sound of it. Just getting a random location that you yourself would never have thought of independently. It's coming from quantum random number generators. Away you go, and you're going to end up in a piece of the matrix, a piece of the simulation that you were never meant to be in. And I get it, you could sit and say, right, I'm going to randomly think of somewhere. But where do our thoughts come from? If we are in this simulation, then perhaps that would already know where we're going to randomly think of, right? I don't know. Just a thought. Let's get back to this, see what it says. Perhaps no serious thinker has devoted as much mental real estate to the possibility that we're living in a simulation than Jürgen Schmidhuber, the German computer scientist whose groundbreaking work in the field of neural networks has earned him the unofficial title of the modern father, or the father of modern AI. Now, since 1997, Schmidhuber has been a self-appointed mission to prove or disprove the possibility that we all live in a computer. Now, over 20 years later, he's still on the fence. We have no physical evidence our universe is not really run by a short computer program. Now, when we spoke, Schmidhuber seemed unconvinced about the merits of randonauting. Quote, I'm not surprised animals are behaving strangely if thousands of visitors are converging on that point, he said in reference to strange results like the aforementioned horses in a Manchester park and the completely still bird and llama. However, he acknowledged that a controlled experiment could perhaps collect enough data to suggest whether there's something inherently reality bending about the practice. He posited that two groups could visit randomly decided locations, one by randonauting and the second by another method. If the first 100 people have more exciting experiences than the 100 people, than the other 100 people, then you can start investigating whether there is something special about these particular ways of choosing locations. But in his view, there's every chance that everything that has ever occurred, including our interview, has been predetermined, and we've just been programmed to be surprised by it all. Per Schmidhuber's thinking, if this were the case, then what we perceived as randomness was in fact the result of our puny human brains being unable to transcend the sense of perception that we've been given. Dang, it's getting deep in this safe space, right? Holy shimoly. Now, I don't think I'm going to read all of this out, but another few paragraphs, and then we'll get your thoughts in the chat. We'll move on. So it says, for a better sense of what Schmidhuber is getting at, consider the 1 billionth digit of the number pi. While that specific digit might appear to be random to us, there are already computer programs which use an algorithm to figure out the pattern at play and place the digit exactly. Now, by this logic, there could very well be an equation we're unaware of that explains all events that ever happen or ever will. He explained, as long as we don't have proof that we can't compress the history of events that describes our universe into a very short program, as scientists, we are obliged to keep looking. Now, after taking all of this in, I was eager to test out the Randonaut method for myself. One Wednesday afternoon in London, I logged into Telegram, switched my phone's location on, messaged at RandonautsBot, and, after a brief wait, was returned an attractor, a short train ride away. It had sent me coordinates north of Sherlock Holmes Museum near Baker Street Station. I had read the whole journey to and from the attractors was part of the larger universe-bending process, so I kept my eyes peeled for anything out of the ordinary. The first foray ultimately led me to a street at a slight incline with nothing immediately visible on it. Now, hidden behind a brick wall was a small courtyard, and on top of my attractor point was a sculpture by Charles Hadcock, who had dedicated it to mathematics, geology, and engineering, the three practices, I noted, that led me to the spot. Now, sharing my discovery shortly afterwards on the Randonaut chat in Telegram, users explained that I discovered a data point. A single point taken on its own, however, is like looking at just one tarot card. When it comes to solving the mysteries of the universe, patterns and stories tend to merge when taken together. My new Randonaut friends suggest I seek out new data points in an attempt to chain my attractors. Now, my second trip led a friend and I to a decidedly less mystical subject. A green shopping bag containing a pair of Nikes propped up on a Burger King table. Now, we requested another attractor, and this time the bot led us to a bottle of urine resting on the ground in front of a shuttered office. I later learned finding piss bottles is so common that discovering them has become a Randonaut meme. What? What? So you're out randonauting, and this quantum number generator is sending you to random locations that are pretty close to you. And in a weird glitch in amongst all of this, at many of these locations, we're hearing that there's bottles of urine. Now, when these numbers randomly give you an attractor, I mean, it's random, it's to you, right? I mean, nobody else has had that number before, so it's not like somebody can glitch the game or like can go ahead of you and leave bottles of pee everywhere, right? Is it just me that finds this really, really weird? I mean, if you are glitching the Matrix and these bottles of urine are a sign of it, I'm not too impressed, to be honest with you. Really, I was expecting a bit more from being able to hack the simulation than somebody leaving, a bottle of pee there. But yeah, this is the rise of the Randonauts. Listen, it's something I'm going to be looking more into. I like the idea of it. Like I say, tricking the algorithm over on Facebook or Twitter, or when you're in a search engine, look for something you've never searched for before. Really throw that spanner in the works, because then when it's making that digital profile of you, when it's getting close and when they get to know you real better, right? Then it's going to think, blue chicken? Where the hell did blue chicken come from? And I say that because I've seen BW dropping it in the chat room. And don't forget, folks, if you want access to the blue chickens, the smoking Elon, Scottish Shrek, and a whole host of other emojis, and it would be helping yours truly out immensely, please consider a donation. Joining the channel. You can consider a donation as well. I'm open to donations. I'm good like that. I don't discriminate. Donations definitely welcome. But if you do actually subscribe to the channel, we've now got a Discord server that we're setting up. It's taking shape nicely in the background. There's a few of us on there. We've got Joe, we've got Nana, we've got the guy that built it for us, JB, Kristen, Nancy, and we're asking people if you want to come and hang out in our Discord. And people might be thinking, well, what's Discord? And I'll bring up something on Discord in a moment. We can watch it. There's going to be a little advert. You know what I'm thinking, folks? This is my idea. This is the brainchild, okay? This is where I'm coming from. Look at the way the chat room is now, right? Look at you're all sharing ideas. Everyone's talking away fine. There's people having a laugh in amongst it all. And the rarest of things happens in this chat. And it's not thanks to me, it's thanks to all of you. You're the chat room. You're the people that make that up. You see friendships being made. Friendships online in this day and age when people are all at each other's throats usually. Well, I'm thinking, well, that's cool, but it's only happening when I'm online. How do we get this feeling and transfer it into something that's there 24/7 for everyone, every day of the week? Where we can all hang out, where we can all drop stories, where we all get a voice. And it'll be just as free speechy as it is in here. Do you like that one? Free speechy. That should definitely be a new word. As we are in the chat room here. It's going to cost you nothing to get into the Discord server. All I ask is that you contact me at kbsdiscord@protonmail.com. That's kbsdiscord@protonmail.com. And I only need your ID from here, so I know who you are on YouTube. And when you join Discord, then it'll give you a unique ID as well. Okay, so give me a moment, right? I'm just going to take a quick look for maybe a little video that shows people what Discord's all about. Now, I've got a couple of stories before I let you get back to your day, okay? So let me set this up and I'll be right back.
Here is 30.
Okay. Turns out all of the like introduction videos that I thought would be cool aren't so cool. So what I've got here is, I'm trying to think now. Close everything I don't want. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. This is basically what your whole thing looks like when it comes to the actual Discord. You'll see we've got rooms here, YouTube members and Patreons, YouTube discussion, serious talk, off topic, not suitable for work, politics, religion, places where people can self-promote, you know, maybe you sell products, whatever. And then we've got places where we can talk, where everyone gets a voice. Point being, I really want to step things up on the channel. I think we're really trying to do that. Discord is going to be, what I hope anyway, it's going to be somewhere where we can all go even when KBS isn't on. You know, some people spend a lot of time at the computer. Maybe some people can't make the live shows, but maybe they'll be able to participate over in Discord, and we can keep that family kind of feeling going, and it gives us somewhere where we can hang out, somewhere we can get a laugh. It's nothing serious. You know, from time to time, there'll be big news stories that break, and that's when it's going to become priceless, because we'll get everyone dropping in the links there coming across. We can sit and look at them all. From that, I can put a show together a lot easier with you know, 10, 20, 100 minds working as one, bringing in information, and we all go over it. We try to make sense of it. Sometimes I'll get it right, sometimes I get it wrong, but that's the way KBS rolls, right? So I'm hoping, folks, I'm hoping this is going to be the next big the next big kind of step that people take in this experience. And you don't have to. And I know Kristen, she's dropping the link over there. And like I say, we've got Armand. I seen Armand's in there now. Joe Joseph. All I need is that YouTube name, so we know who you are on Discord as well. And hopefully, we'll keep it drama free, because that's another thing that I find really attractive about this chat room. The fact that there isn't much grief and drama and all that stuff you see in other chats. And we don't want to bring that over here. So hopefully, the Discord over time is going to grow into something that not just I'm able to take advantage of, because some nights maybe I'll have a 2-hour show to fill, and I'm going to have like a plethora of links, so many different topics I get into, but think of it as a resource for all of you as well. You know, you might come into a part of your research, something new, and you'll remember seeing something over in the Discord chat, and you'll be able to scroll back and get it. That might lead you down a rabbit hole that you never thought you would be down. It might be almost like a version of randonauting while researching. You like that? Rando research notes. Doesn't work, but you get where I'm coming from, okay? You get it. So hopefully over time, we'll be able to transfer all of you, excuse me, all of you from here. Still, this tail end of this cold is kicking my ass. Absolutely unbelievable. Probably should have gone and got an antibiotic. I get that. But at least now. And Kristen is telling people, you don't need to use your YouTube name in Discord. It's just for link purposes. Yeah, it's just so we know who's who. And if you're a member here on the YouTube, or you're a Patreon, and I'm going to be sending a message out to Patreons with the link, that'll get them into a room that's for them. I mean, I'd love, everyone's welcome at the Discord, but obviously there's going to be sometimes when we have just member-only chats or Patreon-only chats, and that's as my way of thanking people for helping to keep me afloat, keep the family going, and enabling me to continue doing this. So that's why if you do go over there, you're going to see a locked room for YouTube members. And if you are a YouTube member, I really, really, really would like to see you getting into this Discord thing. I only got into Discord when I started working with uni, and that was a year ago, over a year ago now. And it's probably taken me a little while to suss out. I still haven't sussed it out, but it's just somewhere to drop links, to chat. You don't have to worry about anything. other people behind the scenes will take care of the running of it. Just somewhere where we can all go. So then, KBS Discord at protonmail.com. Got another couple of stories before we go away today, and one of them is very geographically linked to where I'm from. Even I like how I've done that, right? We went from randonauting, going to random geographical locations, going to my geographical location now. And Joe Joseph and Scott, they thought they might offend me the other night. It was quite funny. They were scared to tell me that the DNA results from a test on Nessie were back in. And they were scared to tell me because it said that they think Nessie may be some type of eel. My word. I don't know. But that said, wait till you see what I've got to show you. At the time, you'll remember that I said, listen, guys, I used to go fishing up there when I was younger, and there are lots of eels up there. So I can see why the eel DNA has actually been discovered. Not discovered, but it's turned up in these tests. But then, I want you to check this out, because this is pretty cool. And I'm not saying that this is the Loch Ness Monster, okay? But man, oh man, do we get some big, weird-ass looking eels in that loch. Take a look at this thing. Huge eel-like creature filmed near Loch Ness. Now I'll need to refresh that again. And it usually takes ages for the video to start, right? But I'll just talk you through this while we're waiting for it. Folks, what you're going to see here is, you can see my mouse there. You're going to see something moving along the screen in this direction. Now, I don't know why it takes so long for it to start. Right, here we go. Here we go. Right, see it there? There's like the head of it. It slows it down in a moment, okay? Now, I thought to start with, this could be like a big bit of wood, because there's lots of wood falls in from the side of the loch. But look at that thing. That's a big eel. Here we go again. See it? Head there. I hope you're seeing this. I hope you're really seeing this okay on there. And is it still there? And it's still off screen. Look at that. No wonder this bloody fish just moved. Whoa. If you caught this thing on your line when you're out fishing in Loch Ness, you would know about it, okay? Do that there. So yeah, that was just a quick follow-up, right? Because Joe and the guys were talking about that the other night. I'm going to look up. Kev, could you please have a look at blood types? I was looking into it and found some interesting things. I may be negative. Yeah, I've done shows on that before, Chris. I've had people on the show talking about RH negative and all that stuff. Definitely something interesting going on with that. Those RH negative people. It certainly hints at either some kind of genetic mutation that occurred or genetic intervention and deliberate kind of genetic modification of humans. Who knows? Who knows indeed? But yeah, I'll get back into that on another show, another night, Chris. I'd have to dig out all the old notes on that. Very interesting topic, though. You're bang on. Very interesting topic. And of course, what is our blood? What is that? It's our code. Our DNA, right? Everything about us is encoded in DNA, yeah? Just saying. Just saying, folks. But then, I mentioned earlier on, it's almost like randonauting is taking place on the show. Because in the middle of that article, we had the whole horses, the family of horses that were acting weird. And before I tell you why I think this is weird and we're randonauting our way through the afternoon safe space, let me remind people, I'm not begging, not just yet, not yet anyway, but please remember, if you want to support the stream, I'd be highly, highly grateful. There's PayPal links in the description, or if you want, you can have your message read out on the screen by hitting the super chat button. You can become a channel member. And like I say, PayPal is in the links as well. You don't have to support the stream. People were very generous the other day, last week on the stream, and really so grateful for that. Like I say, hardly any of these streams get monetized, so I rely on all of you out there. So with that said, let's get back to the horses, right? Kept you waiting there for the horses. You're thinking, what bloody crazy horse story has Kev got about a crazy horse? Well, think to yourself, there's some things that you really don't ever expect to see, right? And one of them for me would be this here. Flight passengers shocked after a woman brings a miniature horse onto a flight. Why is that? Is this even a thing, folks? Is somebody winding me up? I mean, are we really? It looks like it's a horse. Certainly looks like a real story. This is the Daily Record, right? Sidvich says, did you see any more about the Andoya Space Centre? They are trying to push out the Swedish now because we need a North European launch site for polar launches. Europe's Cape Canaveral. You know who I'm going to like bring that up with on the next time I do a show, Sidvich, and gives me a time to look into it more. Ben Emlyn Jones. He's into all that kind of space woo. And I've still got that page that you gave me. I favorited that page because that is an interesting place. I wasn't aware of it, but by the sounds of it, it's becoming very, very important indeed. And they were even talking about building a spaceport in Scotland at one point. And again, because of its location, very good for these polar orbits like you're talking about there. So yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on that, and I'll definitely be checking it out more, Sid. Absolutely. But a horse on a train, on a plane, in an automobile, any form of transportation with humans, you shouldn't be finding horses, right? So it says here, right, here we go. Shocked travellers couldn't believe their eyes when a woman brought a miniature horse on board a flight. And it looks like a little Shetland pony. Shetland ponies are lovely. Do you know why Shetland ponies are lovely? Because when I go on a Shetland pony, it looks like I'm on a big stallion. See, because I'm a little guy, if you get the camera at the right angle and make sure there's nothing giving away perspective or anything, I look like I'm on the back of a big, like, you know, 100-hand stallion. I don't know how many hands a stallion is. I'm quite impressed I remember that horses are measured in hands. Come on now, come on. Go with me on this one, right? So we've got the little horse on the plane. What's going on here? The woman was spotted queuing to check in for her American Airlines. It had to be. I'm sorry, America, but it had to be, right? There's only one place in the world where you're going to get somebody attempting to take a horse onto a plane, right? That's just my thoughts anyway. Before bringing her companion on board. So at what point didn't they think this is weird when she's walking through the airport with like a magical, mysteriously small horse by her side? Doesn't the TSA get like, I mean, don't they jump on anyone for anything? Surely somebody with a horse. We've all heard of the Trojan horse, right? This woman could have been at it. The white hats need to get a hold of her, maybe. In fact, on that note, we need the white hats for this. We do need the white hats. Where are you, white hats? Because I think it's almost like a coded story, this. I think this woman was on a mission. We'll see. Here we go. There's the white hats on. There she is. She's actually... This horse isn't any ordinary horse, folks. It's actually a Marvel horse. It's been trained. It used to be owned by Tony Stark, and what happens is this horse, it gets sent to sort shit out, right? The wee woman that's with it, she ain't no just old innocent-looking wee woman. She's literally a trained ninja. So let's see where the ninjas were going, right? American Airlines customers looked on in disbelief as the furry animal... Right, I contest. There's nothing furry about a horse. If you had to describe a horse, furry would be the last word you'd ever use. Now we're talking like a weird-looking horse. Was this like some kind of hybrid horse? I don't know. Let's go back to... It says here, the unusual travellers even took time to pose for photos with the flight's crew as other passengers took selfies with the pony in the background. Evan Newark posted a video of the bizarre scenes on the flight from Chicago, Illinois to Omaha, Nebraska on Twitter. Excellent. We've got video of the horse. Turn that down, it's probably copyrighted. Remember, this is the White Hat's horse. This is the one, maybe it's heading for Gitmo. Where is it? Where are you, horse? Look at it. Chilling out, man. Wow. I didn't even know you were allowed horses on a flight. Did people know that was like a thing? Charlie Robinson in the chat room. Myself and Charlie are 2 days out from our September the 11th gig. Charlie, I found the horse that belongs to the White Hats, dude. This isn't no ordinary horse. It's a Trojan horse, right? It's the White Hat horse. It's the Gitmo horse. So we'll see what's happening here. Another passenger, Amberly Babbage, also spotted the animal at check-in, tweeting, "There's a small horse in the line at the airport today, and I'm so curious about it." The horse was later revealed to be a service animal called Flirty. Oh, who named it Flirty? I want to know who was it that named the baby pony Flirty? Why was he thinking about flirting when he was looking at a baby pony? I'm just saying, okay. And it's even, right, that's Viking music on now. I've even got Viking music because, like, there's so many Norwegian and Swedish people listening to the show. You see, I'm very inclusive, me. The rumours are not, they're unfounded, folks. I'm the most inclusive guy in the room. Hey, hey, hey. You know? So it said it's even got its own Twitter and Instagram account. Now, how cool is that? I told you this horse was different. Charlie says, we'll call the horse Trigger. I like it. I do like it. And of course, that name Trigger, don't forget that David Icke's new book, The Trigger, is coming out very, very soon. And it names and it shames everyone behind a very famous day in September 2001. Myself and Charlie Boy are going to be getting into it all on Thursday night. Can't wait, Charlie. Love it, man. But let's see what's happening here. We've got the horse. It's got an Instagram account. Do you think it photoshops itself? You know, like all the Insta thoughts and things like that. Do you think it gives itself Botox lips and puts on high-heeled hoofs and things like that? I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe it's like not the horse you think you're getting. Maybe it's not so flirty when you see it in real life. So they wrote, Flirty and I took to the skies yesterday. It was a great experience and I learned a lot. Flirty was fantastic and handled it all like a pro. That being said, I'm going to keep travelling by car. It's just easier on Flirty. Flying will be reserved for emergencies and such. They added, it's just too difficult to make sure Flirty doesn't inconvenience other passengers. Is Flirty like some kind of sex pest? Is he like trying to stick his little nose up into places it's not belonging? Is he trying to look down people's like dresses and things like that? That pesky Flirty. You get back in the car, Flirty. You can't be trusted to go on the plane, son. So it says here, because my airport is smaller, the planes are smaller, and they don't have solid bulkheads. Flirty just couldn't stop jostling the seat of a person in the last row of first class every time she moved. Once we got up to cruising altitude, she took a nap and was very quiet. Look at her there. Oh, look at wee Flirty. Eh? I wonder which one of them Flirty violated right after that photograph, right? Who knows? Who knows? Marty in the chat room, and I sent Marty an invite to the Discord. Yes, to our dysfunctional Discord server over there. And if you want to find out details about that, I'll put it in the description. But yeah, I'm just your typical crew with one amazing passenger. Really? One of them got violated, didn't they? I think it's a smiling chap here. Although maybe he's smiling too much. I hope Flirty made it one piece. I really, really do. So then, I think we're out of time, folks. So what I'll do is I'll see what the chat room are saying before we go away today. Charlie Robinson in there, man. Damn, we get all of the characters in the KBS chat room, eh? Eh? Charlie, you need to come on here and hang one day, man. We can really, really mess things up. We can go full Dave Chappelle on people, dude. The algorithm might not like it, but even Anne laughed at that one. You know, so definitely. So what's the chat room saying? You crazy KBSers. Somebody on Patreon said I should call you Kevsters. That's just way too egotistic, right? I just think we're all crazies. What about it? KBS crazies? That sounds about right. So we'll scroll up here. No doubt my man Charlie's having a good laugh at a horse on a plane. I don't know either, Charlie. It's the world we live in now. Why not bring an elephant, says Nana. Exactly. Where do you draw the line? Isn't it discriminating against having a... I thought Anne was talking about horses. I was going to say, now they're talking about horses. So, like, you've got a horse there. What if you had a giraffe? Not very practical to get the giraffe on a plane, right? But, hey, you can't discriminate. It's not his fault it's got a long neck. And what about people that identify as giraffes and things like that? It's going to be like Noah's Ark up there in the sky soon. It's crazy. They'll be going on 2 by 2. Know what I mean? Okay, Anne, it wasn't my best joke. I get it. So we'll go back to the chat room. We'll see what they're saying. That's almost like saying you can change your eye color with your diet. I missed the start of that. Oh, I don't think diet will change the antigens that are present in your cells. I can see it altering pH slightly, but not surface antigens. BW says, I like this one, my kingdom is a horse. Does anyone remember, like John Wayne saying, get off that horse and drink your milk? Because me and Anne could never remember that, but seemingly it's a really famous phrase. No, you didn't. You didn't, because you laughed with me when you first heard it. You got brought up by John Wayne? Anne got brought up by John Wayne. Who knew? So you're quite adept with horses then as well? Yeah, oh, there you go. Who knew? Eh? You see, this randonauting's given me an entirely new Anne, it would seem. So then, we'll keep scrolling down here. A service pony. Again, we're back to why not bring an elephant. Charlie, call him Trigger. If I could get my hands on a service elephant before, I guarantee I would show up at the airport with it. Yep, I would, definitely. What else we got? Princess Anne getting away from the rest of them. Geraldine. Oh, Geraldine, absolutely. Princess Anne she does look a bit equine. It's not me being offensive, folks. It's just eyesight. You can see it for yourself. And if people are wondering who the hell's Princess Anne, yeah, she's one of the ones you rarely see. She was like my commander-in-chief. She was the royal in charge of the royal signals. I got the boring one. I know, go figure. They also say she's one of the better ones. I don't know. Royal family. And, well, the voice has spoken and says Princess Anne, one of the better ones. So it says here, genes don't change that. Frank, it depends on your blood. There's a lot of, like, biology discussion going on. I'm liking this. Marty, see Marty in there. We've got Unique Lee. Can I take a llama on board a plane? Only if it's the llama that they found when they were randonauting. You know, when they were going to these random locations and the animals started acting all freaky-deaky. Do you think it was the fact that they had bent reality? I still can't get my head around that. Love it. Clean up on aisle 1, War. You see, War, this is why I love you, dude. It's one-liners like that. That's what we're talking about, man. Pony wants to join the Mile High Club. You know, judging by that picture there, I think somebody did get inducted into the Mile High Club. I do. I don't know which one. I don't know who was the giver, who was the taker. I really don't know anymore, folks. That's the kind of world we're living in. So it says here, hey, woolly mammoth is coming. They're almost there. Ask anyone, or anyone ask the airlines, what's the biggest animal I can have on a plane? Imagine somebody getting on with like a gorilla. How cool would that be? A Sasquatch. Where does it end? This is true. Can you get on with like tarantulas or like poisonous snakes and things? Surely they've got to be in the hold, right? I'm waiting for a Discord link then. I always sleep when your shows are on US time. See, Sid, this is why it's going to become invaluable to have the Discord server, because it's going to be 24/7. People can come in, drop in as they please. They can come and go. They can get links from there. They can drop the links they've seen that day. You see, this is why it's going to be good. And I see people in there saying Kevinauts. You see, I was thinking about that, right? But then Jimmy Church has got Fadernauts. So is it not really, you know, ripping off what he's already kind of coined? I think it feels like a bit of a rip-off. I don't want to be the new Jimmy Church. I want to be the best version of Kev Baker there is, okay? And that's nothing against Jimmy, but Jimmy's the best version of Jimmy, and I'm the best version of Kev, and we don't even do the same type of shows. So I don't know if I could call them Kevernauts or Kevinauts, Bakernauts. It would be cool. I must admit, it would be cool. I can think of the branding now. You could have rockets and Space Force and Bakernauts here and Bakernauts on Mars. I'm telling you, the photoshops I've got in my mind as well. A horse onesie is a zebra. There's a thing. Can you have a zebra on there? What about if you took a lion on there, or two animals that are naturally predator and prey? Shit's going to get real pretty fast in aisle 1, like they said. Do you know what I mean? I mean, is it going to be like, God rest his soul, people like Steve Irwin are going to have to be like new flight attendants? I'm quite happy. The toxic male in me is quite happy with the highly attractive flight attendants we have now. I don't like these conservationist types that work at zoos. I don't want airplanes to turn into zoos. It's the last thing we want, guys. Honestly. Trust me. So Baker bots, I think it's going to have to be Baker bots because of the last thing I said. It can't be fader knots. It can't be Baker knots. The whole fader knot thing, that's taken. So it's going to have to be Baker bots. What do you think, Anne? The Baker bots. I like it. So if we're happy with Baker bots, can I have a hell yeah one in the chat? If you don't like Baker bots, put a 2 and put your own suggestion in there. Baker's Dirty Dozen. Charlie. Me and you, I hope you're growing your beard again, chick. I'm growing mine. I had to shave it all off, man. It was ridiculous. It was all different lengths. And then, when I got the cold, it was acting as like some kind of Slimer receptacle. You get me, Charlie? Had to go, dude. Had to go. But it's coming back slowly but surely. I'm not seeing any ones in the chat room for Baker knots. I'm quite disappointed at that. I thought the Baker bots might work. Did I say Baker knots there? You see, even I'm saying Baker knots now. So then, come on. One if you like the Baker knots, or 2 if I need to go and like employ somebody from Fiverr to come up with a good name for like you lot out there. Nana is the first one. We're hitting a 1. I see a 1. If there's only 1 vote, then you know the majority of 1 it'll carry. It definitely will. We need some music for this. Come on now. Charlie was telling me about a good channel. Charlie, if you want to drop in the name of that channel that you put me onto, remember the one with it's like 2 guys and they're having comedy. They've got the sound clips and they've got stuff like that. See, if you want to drop that in there, drop it in because that's a really good channel. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But I'm trying to get the whole music thing involved like that. So Kev's Wookiees, 1 and 2, 1. There's a lot of 1s in there, folks. For now, 1. Yeah, for now, I think Baker bots for now. See, I don't want to be the leader of this. The Kevorkians. They sound like a distant, like, relative of a Kardashian. How cool would that be? Imagine me and the Kardashians hanging out. What a conversation that's going to be, right? Not. So yeah, I think it's Baker bots. Susie's liking it. There it is. OBDM, our big dumb mouth. Wait, I'll just bring that up. ODBM. Big damn mouth. This is a good YouTube channel, folks. They talk about all the kind of... Where are they, man? Oh, don't tell me they're like shadow banned to the point where you can't get them. Oh, come on. I've got it the wrong way, right? That's it. Our big damn mouth. Tell if I put the right thing in, right? There they are. There they are. Is this them? Yeah, this is them, innit? I think this is them. We've got the videos. Yeah, this is them, man. They're on Randy Kramer.
He's done various interviews with George Norrie, and he's all over the Gaia network, and also he's buddied up with...
Well, I find sometimes they just do news and things like that, which is pretty cool. Where are we? Check this channel out anyway, folks. I'm going to drop it in the chat room for you. Kristen's done it. I'll do it. Baker's Quakers. I like that. Kev's Majestic 12. I'll tell you, we could have it like Hugh Hefner. We'll have the mansion. You know what I mean? Okay, I can't go all Hugh Hefner on folk. All right. It was worth a try, right? It was worth a try. Baker's Donuts. Damn, I've got one of those I've got one of those surnames, don't I? It's just like comedy gold. It truly is. Let's see this. We'll put this up.
I will find you a clip. What about MSNBC? They're not a big fan of the president.
No.
Right. That's all I want to do. I just wanted to show you that because they're a couple of cool cats. Told you this cough is still kicking my ass, man. But they're a couple of cool cats, and I definitely like their videos. I've subscribed to them. They're 5.4 subscribers. Let's get them up to 6, right? Let's try and get them up to 6,000 because these guys are definitely pretty cool. I'm going to try and maybe get them on the show sometime, maybe hang out with them. That'd be pretty cool as well. But it was Charlie Robinson put me on to them. And also there's another one I'm trying to think of as well. Charlie, what's your name's friend? Your name's friend? Your friend's name? Is it Benny Wills? It is Benny Wills, isn't it? Yeah, this here is another good channel, man.
This is called Not.
And I'll send a link to this. This is pretty funny stuff. You know, people like it when we have fun with the news and have a laugh, even in the face of adversity. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's happening? Whoa. Thank you very, very much, Jamie Sterling on Patreon. Absolutely fantastic. And if you want to give a super chat or a PayPal or show your love before I end the stream out here, then please, please do. But like I was saying, please check out this YouTube channel here as well. It's Benny Wills. I can't remember the name of his, it's going to annoy me. Charlie can drop it. Joy Camp. I always forget that, dude. Always forget it. I wonder if he would let me play one of his videos. I wonder. Because there's one with a blue chicken in it. Let's go for it. We'll try it. Here we go.
Be bold. Be the change. 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 It's a simple concept in the confines of a construct, upon a construct, upon a construct, upon a construction site. Fights and flights and wandering, prayers and scares and dawdling, third eyes inside wide opening, protection from seduction from corruption of the light. Sparks in the dark, molecules and vestibules, oils, foils, doors and floors, mirrors, tunnels and corridors, minefields, wine fields, mushrooms and vines, pavement in arrangements, dismantled, pure divine, stuck in time, or a time, or times, or timelines, testing potions in slow motion between the oceans and the blind, locked in by vibration to a cellular location, while you sit and ponder, wait and wonder, what and why and me and my and who and then and when and how and you and her and him and wow, and tears and fears and groans and grins of the moment of the moment of the wow of the now 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 of the now, now, now.
Deep. Usually cracking jokes, this cat. This is deep. Remember, sign up, sub to
It's simple.
Benny Wills.
It's changeable, bendable, malleable, manifestable. Reality.
Simulation.
And all you have to do is be bold, be the change, 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 be bold, be the change. Acknowledge the shadow, but don't let it in. Harness the madness with organs and skin. Mine the mind for thoughts and perspectives. Stand all the way up to shift the collective. Thank you to birds, thank you to trees, thank you to ankles, elbows, and knees. Thank you to earth, mother to Gaia. Connect with the heart, become the Messiah. Be bold, be the change, be bold, be the change, be bold, be the change, be bold, be the change. And love. Love, 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 love. Yourself, thyself, oneself, ourself. Firm against cruelty, firm against wickedness, firm against lazily, firm against dissonance. Experience the glorious, experience the hideous. Rise up, transcend, transmute the insidious. Be bold, be the change, be bold, be the change, be bold, be the change, be bold, be the change. And please, don't take it all, or yourself, so serious.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm liking that. That'll keep together kind of cool, right? Bit of jazz in the background. Joe doesn't like the tunes. I like the tunes, man. It's like kind of cool with the old speaking going on there. But listen, like I say, show my man Benny Wills some love. Get subbed up to his channel. He does comedy. He talks about the world like myself and Charlie do. He has a unique comedy kind of perspective to things, which we all need, we all love, we all like that kind of thing, right? And for another day, folks, I'm out of here. I want to make sure you join me tonight over on the Kev Baker Show, and I'm going to be joined by Debbie Elliott, who is the author of Monkey Mind, Robot Body, AI, Self-Aware AI, Transhumanism. Looking forward into the future when we've given up this body for one of silicon. Join me tonight on the Kev Baker Show for more of that on tfrlive.com. And for another day, I'll catch you same time, same place tomorrow. Probably cooler music again, right? Right here on the Kev Baker Show channel on YouTube. Keep your mind open. Be the change like your man Benny Wills says there. But question everything, but not to the point where your brain turns to the black goo and starts running out of your pie hole. Until tomorrow, I am out of here.